Okay, if not, then we will call the meeting to order and we'll ask everybody to stand. And I'd like to ask Marshall if you would do the invitation for us. Yeah. And then we'll do the pledge right after you do the invocation. Okay.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you, Lord, for this day. We thank you, God, for this body. We ask, Lord, that you give them wisdom, God, that you give them a steady hand to guide this community. We thank you, Lord, for your blessings that have been upon this community. And we ask, God, that you help us to remember the reason for this season that we're about to celebrate. And we thank you, Lord, for all that you've done in our lives. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. So, first order of business on our agenda today is to waive the reading of the minutes and approval of the minutes.
I move that City Council of the City of Cleveland waive the reading of the minutes. Council meeting November the 28th, 2022, and approve them as written.
Vice Mayor, I second that motion.
Okay, we got a motion, we have a second by Dr. Estes. All right. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman May,
Aye.
Councilman Estes,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie, Councilman Cassidy,
Aye.
Councilman Hughes,
Aye.
Councilman Webb.
Aye.
It carries 7-0.
Okay. Right. We have some special presentations right now for people that have rendered a lot of service to the city of Cleveland. And we're gonna call on Joe Fivers, our city manager, and Kim, if you would come and make those presentations to city employees.
Yes, thank you, Vice Mayor and the other city council members. We do have a number of employees that we want to recognize. Some of them are not here today, but we want to still recognize them. This is for service with the city for a number of years, and we're going to call everyone up, then we can give them an applause and take a picture. Brian Beck. Brian's in the Department of Development and Engineering, and it's 20 years. Sandy Bowles, Josh Ensley, who is now on shift today. Christy Long is not here. Nick Osborne, I think he's already off. There's Parks, I think he's already off. And then those are all 20-year. Then 25 years of service is from the police department, Mark Darnell. And there he is. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. 25 years. Mark Gibson. We were just with him for 4 hours and he ran the other direction. But Mark has 25 years in as well. And then you have Joe Greenleaf from the fire department for 25 years. Matt Jenkins, who is in the police department for 25 years. Is Matt here? No. Eric McCamus on fire. A lot of these people, they work every other day, so they may not be here today. Fire, Chris McRobert, I didn't see him. Then you have Bobby Gaylor, 30 years. I know he's here. See. Thank you.
Go, Chief.
Mike Harris, 30 years for the police department. Mike's not here. Beverly Lindsay, where's Beverly? There she is.
How many years?
30 years.
Wow.
Buddy Mitchell, Police Department, 30 years. Jimmy Tatum, who is, I think, is off. Mark, you can come this way. Mark with 25 years. 35 years, Gene Smith with Animal Control. He's not here. And Kim Miller with 10 years, right? No, 35 years.
Wow. Mm.
So we'll stand and.
All right, on three. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
That goes with that.
Certainly on behalf of the mayor, just not here right now, we want to thank all of our employees for your service to the city of Cleveland. The least single person you saw come up here has been here at least 20 years. So, and the most senior are those that have 35 years of service. There's nothing that makes a supervisor any more happier than to come in and find out he's got an employee that's got at least 5, 6 to 10 years. So I was a supervisor for many years, and supervisors don't really know a whole lot. We just want to know who our people are. When you got people got seniority, you just have to just make it to work, and they'll do the job if you stay out of their way. You know, but anyway, it's so good, and we appreciate all that all of our employees do for the city of Cleveland. So, next on our agenda, and I just found out that I had tabled a meeting as I walked in the door, so under the consent agenda, let's see, the art is here for presentation. Do we have somebody from the Art Society? Yeah. Yes, come right up.
Thank you. Thank you, Vice Mayor, and thank you to the entire council. We appreciate the opportunity. We're very thankful for the opportunity to come to your meetings and to share some information. This group, Artists Air Partnership, has only been in existence since February of 19. This group came about of its own accord, almost organically. None of us were thinking about this or focused on this or out to do this, but it just kind of fell upon us in this meeting. That was a meeting of artists for another possibility, but here we are 4 years later, and we have moved a few mountains, and we have shaken a few trees, and we feel like we have changed the conversation when it comes to the arts community in Cleveland and Bradley County. I want to particularly thank two city employees, Corey Dowdle and Paul Wyrick. Both of them, Corey has been on our board for several years and has been a great help and encourager in helping us to focus on various ideas. Paul Wyrick has been a tremendous influence with his ideas and how he communicates with all of the artists in our community. Paul is responsible for a program he came up with and helped develop, providing free dance instruction to the students of Black Bower on a weekly basis and then throughout the entire year. It was his idea, we helped him develop it, and that's the kind of idea and arts experience that changes lives for all of those children who wouldn't otherwise be able to participate in dance instruction. So I'm very thankful for both of these two fellows. We also want to bring a few things to your attention because we feel like the atmosphere, the number of arts activities, the entire arts community has changed a great deal in the past 4 years. We now have concerts, mini concerts, M-I-N-I, mini concerts happening at numerous eating establishments all around the city and county, as well as elementary, middle, and high school concerts with musicians, growing musicians, budding musicians, and the semi-professional musicians who gather under the professional orchestra conductor, Miss Sarah Pearson. Music, there's just more of it and more concert opportunities. There are more theater experiences throughout this past year, and will be even more with this coming year coming up. This will be the third year for the Tennessee Songwriters event that is now located in Cleveland and home based here in Cleveland. And we're very thankful for the positive attention, all of the attendance that comes from the region outside our community to that event. There are more visual arts experiences. There was the Haunted Arts Festival. There was the Shattered Images visual art exhibit. There was the Howard Finster exhibit recently at the museum. We've taken a lot of steps, but there are many steps yet to take. We, as you all know, and we have presented before, we are moving toward a home place for the creative arts in Cleveland and Bradley County, an actual arts center where artists and musicians and actors and families can gather and share laughter and be moved by music and give a place for them to do creations, to actually do some creating. We're not going to talk a lot today, and we're not going to, and you know, I'm an old teacher, and I have all this information about what the arts do for the human soul. I'm going to spare you that, okay? Today we want to call attention to an activity that we began actually last winter. We are a part of the Arts Economic Survey. It's the Arts Prosperity #6 survey that is originally based with Americans for the Arts. We are a part of that now. It's the first time Cleveland's ever been involved in this. It's very expensive, #1. We were able to receive grants in order to carry this out. We also, it's very time intensive. We have a board member, Michelle Mamert, who is handling most of the detail work. This is a task of bringing 800 actual surveys to Washington, D.C. They will provide us with the data and what the arts mean for any given community, such as Cleveland and Bradley County. This is determined, this is set up and running just for Cleveland and Bradley County. What we thought would be interesting today is to have you folks take the survey. We're calling this an arts forum. So Melissa Woody is going to come up now and explain to you the process of taking the survey. At this point in time, we have 490 out of 800 that we'll be charged for. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, Bonnie. Great job. So Arts and Economic Prosperity 6, AEP 6, as we affectionately know it. And Dwight, you want to go ahead and hand out? There is a QR code that you all will be getting, and we're going to have some audience participation as well. So if you guys want to start passing those out, and whoever doesn't get one, Dwight will follow up with that. But this is a survey that asks you, you know, what are you attending? How much money did you spend when you got there? Did you buy a Diet Coke? Over there, Joe Fivas has a Diet Coke. I went recently to Westwood Baptist Church and I saw Mac Powell. Mac Powell was the lead singer for Third Day, a contemporary Christian band who I love. And I paid $50 so I could be on the first 2 rows. And I also went out to eat at Longhorn the night before. So if I had not been going to that arts activity, I would have been staying home eating Cheez-Its. And that does not cost as much as Longhorn. So these are things that contribute to our economy locally. And the arts means money. Every time I go to the Tivoli to a show, I spend all of the intermission waving at Cleveland, Tennessee, who is there seeing a show because they're going down to the Tivoli to spend money and eat at a restaurant. And probably I would say 30 or 40% of the audience is from outside of Chattanooga. So this is the purpose with this. So you can use your cell phone, and if you do not know how to do a QR code, we also will follow up with a paper copy of the survey. I want to pass one of those down. But this, so we will call this, instead of being at a city council meeting, we're at an arts forum. So that kind of qualifies us to be filling this survey out. And it just asks you, and if you didn't spend any money to get here, that's okay. It's just an honest answer of, here I am at an arts forum, I drove here, did I gas up on the way? The different questions just will address those kinds of things. And I think 8 of the questions, they relate to the economy and your effect or impact on the economy by attending something. And then 4 of the questions talk about the value of the arts experience. So you all had an arts experience here because you're learning about what the arts means to our community and to our economy and how it can translate into our cash registers ringing. So Michelle could not be here today. She has worked very hard going to so many arts events. She's been to the concert that the Sounds of Tennessee put on, the Cleveland Orchestra, the Cleveland Symphony, to Bangarang's production of Heartstrings, to Ocoee Theater's production of Always Patsy Cline, to all these things all over the year, to the Hot Slaw and Art Y'all Festival, the Christmas on the Square, things where art takes place. And if you notice all those things that are fun things that we do here, like concerts in the park, all of those revolve around the arts. You wouldn't be doing any of that if it weren't for live music or crafts or arts vendors or all of the things, a host of many arts activities that happen in our community. So those are the things that arts events are made of. So just if you want to just finish up that survey, or if you have any questions, Connie and I are happy to answer it. Thanks to Dwight, he's one of our Artists Here Partnership board members for being here.
And this work is monumental, and Michelle has handled most of this, but it's huge. Being there and interacting with folks just to explain what the survey is and why we're doing it, it's huge, number one. Number two, the reason we're doing this is because one of these days, we're going to sit down with Lynn Hurst and we're going to ask for $40, $100,000 million. Okay. We have big dreams. Cleveland is an amazing community. I've always known and believed this. And our people, our children, all the people who are coming after us deserve an arts center that is a quality place in so many aspects. We have big dreams. We have big dreams, and that's why we're doing this hard work. Because one of these days, these dreams are going to come to fruition.
And I just wanted to add that not every community is doing this. We applied to be a part of this survey, and so the Americans for the Arts chose our community to be a part of this survey. So this is not something that Everywhere USA is doing. We were chosen to do this. So I just wanted to make that clear to everyone.
Any questions? No, ladies.
Anybody have any questions on the council?
No? Very good.
Well, certainly we want to thank Melissa and Connie for what you do in the field of art. As I don't know whether a lot of people know or not, but I have 2 sons that majored in liberal arts, and I can definitely relate to everything that you're saying and doing. We do appreciate it in the city of Cleveland. I think we're very fortunate to have people who are so dedicated to something that people sometimes take for granted. Art is absolutely a lifesaver in a lot of ways. So thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Joe?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor and the city council members. I want to have this opportunity to introduce our guest here from Leadership Cleveland. I had an opportunity to talk with them for about an hour this morning, and that was before I talked for 4 hours after the thing. But I thought it was a very interesting conversation that we had. I think it was up close and personal. Appreciated them spending the day learning about all facets of government in Cleveland and Bradley County. A couple items. I thought that we have one question of what things we need to improve, and we had 2 people in this group that said that not improve, but to have a better facility, what they said. in this, and groups that, arts, performing arts. I think the comment was, I can't believe we don't have a performing arts center. So you have some advocates over here. The other thing that was brought up, and I haven't seen that type of reaction in a while, was the dialogue on daycare. Who brought that up? That, and then everyone echoed in, is that the difficulty that single parents and families are having with finding daycare in Cleveland. You basically have to, I think it was Marshall, they said you have to get on the list about a year before your child is even born to get daycare. And I think that while we don't have a direct relationship with daycare, I think it's an important issue to keep looking at for our community. And it's just great to have good conversations and appreciate what they do. And I just wanted to introduce you want to say anything, Marshall?
Just to say thank you guys for having us. We sure appreciate the opportunity to be here and to see the body of work and experience what it all is for the city government to function. So thank you.
Well, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate that. Glad to have y'all with us. We'll go into our agenda of issues that we have here before the council today. Petitions. Is there any other petitions or communication from the audience before we move into our agenda? If not, we'll go ahead. Under the consent agenda, this is line item number 7 on our agenda. Under the consent agenda, we have about 6 items here that are up to be voted on at this time. The first one is item number A, the final passage of zoning ordinance number 2022-47, rezoning of 15.54 acres more or less from commercial highway to residential to a PUD 44 for the property located on West Side Drive, also described as a tax map 041F, Group D, partial 006. Planning Commission approved this item 6 to 0, and 2 people were absent and 1 recused himself. Item B is a resolution 2022-106, authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement with Cleveland Bradley Regional Museum pertaining to the use of ARP funds. And I think that was a line item of about $50,000. Resolution number C, number 2022-107, authorizing the mayor to sign a contract amendment for a contract extension date with TDOT for the LIC North project, PN number 114573-00. And item number D is a resolution 2022-108, authorizing the mayor to sign a contract amendment number 3 with TDOT for a contract extension date for the Gulf Street sidewalk construction projects. PN number 123311-16-01. Item number E is a resolution 2022-109, authorizing the mayor to sign a contract amendment for a contract extension date with TDOT for the Dalton Pike Wildwood Sidewalk construction project. PIN number 120322-00. Item number F is a motions to authorize the mayor to sign 2 Tennessee seasonal retailers fireworks permits, renewal for Mid-America Distributors Incorporation for the 2 existing locations permissible within the city limits of Cleveland. At this time, we will entertain a motion of approval.
So move.
Need a second.
Second.
Okay, motion by Councilman Hughes and second by Councilman David May. The clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Hughes,
Aye.
Councilman May,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie, Councilman Estes,
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy,
Aye.
Councilman Webb.
Aye.
It carries 7-0.
Okay. Under unfinished business, we have no items on the unfinished business today. We'll move down to the report of the council members. First report comes from Councilman Johnson, Vice Mayor Johnson. So, I received a call from Mr. Robert Thomas, who lives on Martin Drive, and I don't know if Tom is back there. But anyway, they had a tree to fall down after doing the storm last week, and there are no lights in that area. But I understand that they do have people that pay city taxes in that area where the tree fell. And I was just wondering if you could take a look at it and see that if we can get some lighting out in that area. He called 911, and they got people out, and they got the tree up. He almost ran into it himself. It fell across the road. Yeah. So if we can get them to check it out and see if they can do something relative. If we need to put lights on Martin Drive, I think the first address he gave was 804 Martin Drive, and it was all the way in a circle that comes back out on Tennessee Nursery Road. You know. But I appreciate you looking at that and see what we can do. Councilwoman McKenzie, you have anything?
Yes, sir. Mayor. I have a comment I'd like to make first. I would like to say thank you to Keep Cleveland and Bradley County Beautiful for the really good job they've done on the tire cleanup to date. They have picked up 10,660 tires.
Oh, that's great.
I also spoke with Amanda Fields, who's doing a great job, and she was telling me that to date, since the law was changed, there have been no new dump sites in the city.
Okay.
So that's really good. I think that means that law is doing what it was meant to do, which was to keep people from even dumping in the first place. And I want to say thank you to the various schools, the sports teams, the ROTC groups, and other groups that actually got out even in the cold, in the mud, if you saw the pictures in the paper, and it cleaned up these tires. Also, I would like to say thank you to them, and also Tommy in Public Works for getting out and cleaning up some of the homeless camps that have been left around in the area. They've done a great job on cleaning those up. There is a campsite that I turned in the other day on Westside Drive and Westover Drive and Smith Drive. Did we find out who owns the property so we can have that cleaned up? Okay.
We're looking at, we have to, when we have a site that's private property, we have to find the person who owns it, and then we have to post it and to make sure that if there's any belongings that people can take them.
Okay, so it is far back enough it's on private property, it's not.
If it's on private property.
Okay. And then I had mentioned maybe some extra patrol at 20th and Harl, where they're running the stop sign.
Yeah.
And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Estes?
Where is codes located now? In which department? John, hey, lots of good movement in the second district. I attribute a lot of that to Mrs. Lesniewski, right? But, she, a real difference, and I really appreciate it. I mean, because that's my #1 call, and so I just wanted you to know that, and let's give her all the support we can. Really appreciate that.
So how much of our cases are up?
400%.
Robert deserves a lot of credit, and also Joel Prince deserves a lot of credit for trying to get things organized and get things off the books. So a lot of people deserve kudos for that.
Yeah, I know maybe it's her position, it's the CDBG funded position.
Yeah,
but,
that's right.
It's a constant, I mean, for 16 years I've been paying attention. The needle has moved in the last this season, let's say. You know, it's different at different seasons, you know, fall and spring is different than summer, because it's grass, you know, but, yeah.
She was formerly the codes officer for downtown Chattanooga with the Howard top area, and she's good, so she knows how to get moving.
Yeah, so kudos on that. Complained about 8th Street Northeast, speaking of codes, 8th Street Northeast, all the way to the end of the city line. I think you know the house, I can give you all that. Yep, there's like 3 of them in the family, you know them.
Yeah, I know where you're at.
So I don't, that's something I think you involve your left hand with. Chief Gibson may want to help on that. Sorry. Yeah. On to happier notes, Main Street's Christmas Parade, Boca, a couple of things that they've done in Blythe, Christmas lights downtown. Man, there's just a lot of good things going on in Cleveland, you know, from different groups, particularly downtown, and really appreciate that. And a lot of people have spoken specifically about the lights, the parade, the activities, and are coming downtown at night to look at the lights. So, about that. The third thing deals with public schools. Kudos to Arnold's Trash Can Band for performing at halftime of the UT game last week. And I know the mayor's not here, so Bev, I might just ask you, or Sue's not here. We've been recognizing people that win state championships. Well, an individual from Cleveland High won the state cross-country championship, Owen Clemens. So I think we ought to have him here and acknowledge him in some form or fashion for being a state champion in cross-country. It's amazing he did this as a freshman. So quite a feat, and maybe I'll reach out to Sue as well, but just have that on your radar. That's all, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Estes. Councilman Cassidy.
Yes, Vice Mayor, and thank you. Same thing with Bill Estes echoing codes. Jonathan, I want to thank you for what you do in codes, because in the 3rd district, we only got 2 open in the 3rd district, and I don't think I've ever seen that before. One was a fence for the pool, the other one's a structure fire. So I'm sure they'll be taken care of soon, but I want to appreciate you guys staying on top of everything on that part. Vice Mayor, that's all I have.
Okay. All right.
Do you have an update on that structure fire?
Structure fire?
It's still too
On
early.
Axton Drive?
Yeah, and I think insurance is still working on that. So-
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Councilman May.
Yeah, this, Vice Mayor, is the last meeting that we will be in before Christmas. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I hope everybody gets everything they ever wanted, and then some. I enjoy serving with this group, good group, and I hope everybody's well, family's well, everybody has a great holiday. That's all I've got.
Councilman. We'll say it. Yeah.
Vice Mayor, I got one other thing, I'm sorry, I did go back to it. We've got Commissioner Tommy Leffert sitting in the back here. Tommy, thank you for coming in and being a part of our meeting. I'll definitely try to get one of y'all's meetings here shortly, so, okay, thank you so much for being there. That's all I have, Vice Mayor.
Okay. Councilman Hughes.
Yes, sir. First of all, the meeting I attended this morning, city manager, was very informative. I liked the compilation that you made for all of us on the progress of the city, and gave us a time to interact, and I appreciate your work on that, and all of the city employees that participated in making up that compilation. I want to ask a question, Jonathan.
Yes, sir.
I know what's happening with the 40-plus houses. I go by that about every day, and I see that. How about the other side of the road where Ms. Suits was going to put 9 houses? Is that something that, is there anything in the mill that they've turned in to start the action on that property?
They have their stock grading permits submitted. I don't think they've been finalized. Their plan is to start, hopefully have all their approvals and start after January. So, yes, there'll be movement on that soon.
Yeah, I've been asked the question.
Those are residential, single-family houses, yes.
Single family, yes.
Single-family.
And is it 9 houses?
9 right now, yes.
Okay, I've been asked the question if 9 houses will fit on that property.
Yes. there's a chance they may lose one, depending on the detention size, but that's where we're kind of working back and forth right now. So
Okay.
it could go down to 8.
Okay. Also, I was given a map in October 2021 of developable properties. And I'm wondering how much that's changed in a year. But we received that from you, Joe. I have it in my car. I apologize, I was gonna bring it in. Has that changed a lot?
There's probably there's definitely some movement on there. What do you think, John?
Yes, there's some movement, yeah. We can,
I'm happy to look at it again.
Okay, I'll get it for you after the meeting. Vice Mayor, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Councilman Webb?
Yes, following up on Christmas, I just wanted to compliment the staff for the job that they did putting the annual Christmas event together, the luncheon for employees last week. Enjoyed that immensely. I thought the crowd was good. And thank you, because I know those things are not easy to do, and we appreciate all the time and effort that you put into it. That's all.
Okay. Well, certainly, I want to thank all the city employees. I could say especially the police department, especially the fire department, especially the public works, but I would go on and on and on, because I think we have a great staff of employees, and they always get back with you. And in our position, we have to have information and feedback, because the calls don't quit. They just keep on coming. And you know and I know that if I don't take care of it, they won't call you. So keep on nudging me, so I'll do my job and I'll keep nudging you. That's what it's all about. Under new business, we have 3 items. One is the discussion of the potential motion. Now, we had about a 3-hour meeting this morning already concerning this package here. That's what this one is. And Joe, you want to have any comments about that?
Yeah, I'll just talk loud. Yeah, thank you. What this would be is, this is a living, breathing document. It's probably meant to be amended. There's gonna be potentially things that the council wants to alter. You know, let's move this project up a year and this project down a year. Take something off, you know, you have a problem. It would be helpful from at least the finance department's position, is to be able to take these funds and to put them so that all the projects are funded. And that can be changed by a motion at any meeting, I think. And we would appreciate the go ahead to start working on the things that are, and a lot of the things we're already working on, but that would help the finance department to start loading all the projects in and to do that. And we're happy to have a conversation about what the process is. But it's not lost on us that this document will be amended. It will be evaluated. We'll talk about it every few meetings on how we're doing. We'll probably have some one-page document, as we talked about, with some public relations or community education on the website on how things are performing, and I think that it's meant to be a community document working with the council on trying to deliver with what we said.
Any council member have any questions?
Vice Mayor, I would like to, I know this is probably not gonna go well, but I would like to see A, B, D, and C tabled until January of coming up. The reason I'm asking that, because I think there's one important piece that's not in that package, and that's with the Raider Drive building. There's no funds or nothing tied to that, and I would like to see what Joe mentioned earlier, if I'd like to make a motion that, if not, I would like to add D to talk about the Raider Drive building. So I want to make a motion to table these until
Well,
January the
we first on line item number A,
Okay.
individually by itself.
Yeah, I'd like
We
to,
need to, go ahead and entertain a motion up or down, one way or the other, on line item number A. Anybody else have any other questions concerning line item number A? Any discussion, any comments? Okay, at this time, we'll entertain a motion for line item number A. Now, all three of these are somewhat tied together.
yes, sir, they are.
All
And
three
that's
are
what I'm
somewhat tied
asking,
together.
just to make a,
But I'm looking at them as individuals, maybe the city manager can tell us whether that's the proper way to look at it, or we need to vote.
I would discuss each one. I mean,
Yeah.
B probably isn't ready to be discussed. C, you're dealing with, special funds that need to be probably discussed.
Yeah, yeah. And I know a lot of council members are concerned about where the money's coming from first, you know, and so,
well, then can I add D, please, as the Raider Drive as new business to talk about? Because there was a letter that we were talking about getting back to the council. So the council could vote on the 9th on that part.
that was one of the things that we discussed this morning.
Yeah, but I'd like to get it on the record, though.
Like put it added
Yes,
to
sir, I
the
will.
agenda.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Can we do that? We add that, line item D, Raider Drive.
Vice Mayor, if we could put item E, our MPO preference, get an official vote on our MPO preference for you and the mayor, and maybe me at the MPO meeting this week.
Well, we talked about interstate,
This week,
20th
go
Street.
ahead and take
Code.
care of
So, line item E, an MPO motion.
The three items we gotta put in.
We have an
order.
MPO meeting this Wednesday.
Right, and we want you and the mayor and myself to take to the MPO that our number one priority of their three options is, I'm gonna make the motion that it be 25th Street and North Dakota.
Okay,
And I'd like for this body to have that on record. It'll-
okay.
Right.
and we speak as one voice rather than just you and the
Well, I
mayor.
would appreciate that
So
myself.
that's letter E I'm asking for.
Yeah, that really did. Okay, now then, the proper step from this point is to table this or to motion, carry the motion?
See if there's a motion on item
Okay,
A.
all right, do we have a motion
Motion to
and a
table.
second for the amendment,
Well,
or just for the three line item? Three line item, got a motion, don't get a second?
I think item A is the discussion and the motion on the capital project on this document. You want to
Okay.
approve this so that finance can put all their stuff together.
All right.
And if the council wants to wait, then you say no. If the council wants to move forward, then you say yes,
Okay,
or something in between.
okay, okay. You've heard the explanation now, do we have a second?
Yeah.
We got a motion on the floor, do we have a second?
What is the motion?
The motion that Councilman Caston made was to table the item A until the next meeting. That would require a second. If there's no second, it fails for lack of a second. And then anybody else, if you wanted to make a motion one way or the other, you would make a motion, you would need a second before you can vote on it. So the only motion that's on the floor is his motion to delay it till the next meeting, table it till the next meeting. That would require a second before you vote.
Joe, is there any hurry on this to get this pushed through right now? Can it wait? Because we got the holidays coming up, Christmas, New Year's, I
As I
mean,
said, this is a living, breathing document.
yeah.
It doesn't, that, we have projects ongoing. The only thing your finance would put the projects into project funds, and we could start working on those things. If the council's not ready to do that. don't do
But you're
that.
saying things could be taken off of this,
Yeah, it could
live it
be-
up, and then be added
it could
into
be
it,
amended by motion at any
and then be
time.
added into it too, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Well, Then Vice Mayor, I want to withdraw my motion to
Okay.
table, okay? I do want to do that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Since that's been cleared up.
All right. Any other discussion? All right, we've got a well, you withdrew your motion.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so we'll table
No.
No,
No.
you gotta make a
No.
motion.
the other two.
Hey.
Do we need a motion to approve A?
Yes, you
Yes.
would.
I'll make a motion that we approve A.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Okay, got a motion, second.
Second. Can we get a second?
Second.
You second?
Yes.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Ms. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman May,
Aye.
Councilman Webb,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie, Councilman Estes,
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy,
Aye.
Councilman Hughes.
Aye.
It carries 7-0.
Okay, thank you. Item number B is discussion of a potential motion for downtown redevelopment, and that was a part of.
And that was a part of A, so you don't need to vote on that, so you would be on item C.
Okay. All right, and then item number 9, item C is discussion of potential motion of Cherokee Hotel redevelopment. Can we get a motion?
Yes.
Okay. And we got a second?
Let me make the motion.
Okay.
I move we proceed with the conversion of the Cherokee Hotel and the city-owned property adjacent to the Cherokee to City Hall in accordance with the terms and conditions, including funding, discussed at the December 12th, 2022 work session held at the Cleveland Regional Jet Board. Included as part of this motion is the renovation and upgrade of Johnston Park as presented at the same session.
Second.
We got a motion by Councilman Webb and second by who?
I was one of them. I heard one to my right also.
Okay, Councilman Hughes. Okay. We've got a motion and a second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Webb,
Aye.
Councilman Hughes,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie,
Aye.
Councilman Estes,
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy,
Aye.
Councilman May.
Aye.
It carries 7-0.
Okay, Joe.
Talking to Sean and Christie has a resolution that was brought to our, that anything that has ARPA money needs to have a resolution with it. We do have, I think you have a resolution, pass that out and look at. It's very similar to what that was, but I didn't know what action. Sure.
Thank you, ma'am.
Christie, was this reviewed by John?
Yes. Thank you.
All right, at this time, there's nothing, let's see.
Do you want us to revisit that and vote on this motion based on C that we just did?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing as the C.
Mr. Webb, I'll leave it to you.
I will amend my motion to include Resolution 2022, Resolution for American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA allocation for the conversion of the Cherokee Hotel.
And I will second that.
Second.
Excuse me, Robert, would you turn down the air some, please? Thank you.
Thank you.
It's cold up here.
Yeah. Oh,
Need a fur coat.
So we need to vote on that?
Yes.
On this, the amendment. Okay, we have, somebody, you amended it then.
I amended it to include this resolution, or it's a motion to approve the
Okay,
resolution.
all, okay,
You need a second.
yeah, and we need
I
a second.
seconded it.
Councilman Hughes said.
Okay. All right, Councilman Hughes, second.
Yes.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Webb,
Aye.
Councilman Hughes,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie,
Aye.
Councilman Estes,
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy,
Aye.
Councilman May.
aye.
It carries 7-0.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Joe, do you have anything else? No? Anybody in the audience that did not get a chance?
Vice Mayor, I've got a motion.
Yeah.
I move that the city council of the city of Cleveland sets as its number one MPO priority the intersection of North Ocoee and 25th.
Second.
Okay. Now that's,
Do we need to have another one? There's three different ones.
I don't care what they say second.
Let's say 111.
No, just one.
you said 25th and North Ocoee?
Yes, sir.
Number one, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, did we get a second? You got
Yeah,
a second?
second.
Discussion, please.
Yeah.
That project is tied to TDOT, right? And a lot of times, we're ready and TDOT's not. Where do we stand with the monies, the 80% from TDOT?
Yeah, you had to unfortunately step out, we talked about this briefly at our work session, that at the MPO meeting, there's 3 projects that need to be, that TDOT is requesting us to rank. The 3 projects are, one are Ocoee 25th and North Ocoee and 25th Street intersection project. The other one is the widening over White Oak Mountain to 20th Street. And the other one is the extension of 60 Highway to 58 over in Hamilton County.
Okay,
So
that's all I need.
yeah, TDOT just needs to know which of those 3 does.
Prioritize.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And the one that was
D.
chosen was the one that you gave Ken?
Yeah.
Or what did you give them?
Ocoee and 20th Street.
Okay, would you state it again, Bill?
Yeah, I move that the city of Cleveland, the city council set it as its number one MPO priority, the intersection of North Ocoee and 25th Street.
And I second it.
Ocoee,
Motion
25th.
second.
All right. Okay.
Councilman Estes,
Aye.
Councilman May,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
All right.
Councilwoman McKenzie,
Aye.
Councilman Cassidy,
Aye.
Councilman Hughes,
Aye.
Councilman Webb.
Aye.
That carries 7-0.
Very good, very good. Well, this is our.
But Vice Mayor, I asked for D,
Huh?
I asked for D for Cleveland Bank, the Bank of Raider
Raider
Drive.
Drive?
Yes, sir, to be added as number D for discussion on new business.
Okay. You want to restate your motion again?
No, I don't want to say a motion, I just want to talk about, I want to
Talk
talk
about
about the Raider Drive building itself and how important it is, could be for the city of Cleveland, city staff, or even city schools on that part. To have a building where it's located and the price that's being negotiated, I guess, at this time, I would ask if and Mr. Fivas brought it up earlier, for a letter to be, a contract be drawn up, brought back to council on the 9th for an up and down vote if we want to retain that building or not on that part. And I would defer a question to Dr. Elliott too. The city schools, I know y'all showed an interest in that. Would y'all be, if the city some way acquired it, would y'all be interested in that building, and how would you go about funding that building or whatever? Can you let us know on that part? I don't want us to lose an opportunity with a great piece of property. And also, I think too, I won't say this to council and to the public too, I think if we, as a council, move away and don't do this, the property next to it, it's gone. There will be no negotiating on that property next to it, and I think that's a valuable tool that a lot of the council members want, and it can be used for a lot of different things. So I would ask you to consider that too, Dr. Elliott, on the property.
Yeah, just speaking, Dr. Dyer could not be here today, so I'm here, and we just want to come and just say that we do have a high level of interest in that property on Raider Drive across from Cleveland High School. It's a great location for programming, whether it's for professional learning development, also for programming for high school students across the street, or also for central office facilities for us. And so we do have a high level of interest. Of course, there hasn't been a formal vote by our school board or anything, but we do want to come and make sure that we do share our interest in that piece of property.
Okay. Can I make a motion then for Mr. Fivas to renew that contract to bring it back on the 9th of January to where the council can see it, digest it, make a vote, up and down vote, and then we can move forward one way or the other off of this project.
Well, personally, I'd like to hear Joe comments concerning that building, because he may know something we don't know, and I'm pretty sure he has.
Actually, the mayor has probably been more the point person on this particular item. It's all we really need to know as staff is what's the next step. The last action that the council took, and I don't know if you have that resolution with you or not. We could get it, that basically said that it was gonna be a gift, and to draw that up. So we drew that up, and it hasn't been signed.
No, it has been signed but not notarized.
What has been signed and not notarized?
But the contract.
Okay.
And but there has been, there was signed, the deed was signed and not notarized, and that's correct. And that was prepared by.
Which I consider part of the contract.
Right, so but there was, the council asked us to put together a separate.
So you know more about this than I do.
I went and met with Mr. Preston privately.
Well, you know, I don't understand what's going on really. We voted to accept the building free, no strings attached. And I assumed it was a done deal. So, I don't understand what's going on.
So I did too, and I went after this, and then it was like, no, this is not gonna happen. So I went with the mayor, met with Mr. Preston. That's not the deal that he wants. So here we are. I asked him point blank directly, Mr. Preston, will you give this piece of property to the city? No strings attached. He said, no, that's not the deal I have.
Well, why did we vote on it that way then?
I cannot, that is what we were presented, at the time, I assumed that's what we were presented.
We voted on that because we had a letter that stated that.
That's what we were presented.
That's right.
And rather than, and I didn't include, you asked why are we not, well, this isn't something we talk about outside, right? It's essentially not something we talk here in public. But I can talk with the mayor about it, and the mayor has a better relationship with Mr. Preston than I do. That's where I sit. So on this, I would see going forward that, okay, I would encourage you to make your motion that city staff approach Mr. Preston, ask his new terms, and bring it back in January.
You think you have those, don't you, Joe? And
Mr. Kimball, am I saying something wrong?
No, in fact, if this body wants to entertain more discussion about it, that's the best way to do it, because then you know what you're voting on. He's presenting it to you, not you're going and presenting something to him that this body has not approved. So if you want to entertain something different, that's the only way to do it. And I would suggest that you ask him to present to you in writing.
You talk about Mr. Preston.
The owner of the property is actually an LLC, but I assume he's a sole member.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the only way it can be done, because you can't have an oral agreement to buy real estate in Tennessee. You need a written document.
Okay.
And you don't know what you're voting on if you're not presented with something first.
But I know there was paperwork and documentation that was passed on to city staff. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, but this body has to vote
I
on
know,
those
I know.
kind of things publicly, and the only thing this council has approved is a willingness to accept a gift, because you were presented with something by the mayor that said he was interested in giving it to you. Now, if he's changed his mind, which he has a right to do as the owner, it's a gift. Y'all get the concept. The gift isn't supported by consideration, so if somebody changes their mind, they don't have to make a gift. We all get that, right? So if he wants to propose selling it to you, then you need to know what the terms are. And so, if that's what you want to make that motion, and if the council wants to approve that, then that's something Mr. Fivers can make an effort to obtain.
You know, that's
We'll
what I,
find out.
that's what I like to do.
But the council needs to decide that.
Okay, but I'm not gonna,
Yes. What I would suggest you do is your motion be that if you want to entertain some other prospective way of acquiring the property, that you would ask him to tell you in writing what his proposal is and upon what terms he would convey it to you, so then you would be able to decide in a public meeting whether or not you want to accept it or not.
okay, well, I guess the thing is for the mayor to do that, because he's the contact person.
Well, the mayor doesn't have that authority. It's the seven of you that control whether or not to acquire the property on, and on what terms. He does not have a vote.
You want the city staff to take it, is what you're asking?
I think that is best.
Okay, then I'll make a motion, I'd like the city staff to go back to Mr. Preston and figure out what the terms are and what the amount is, and bring it back to the council. By the 9th, I would hope that we can get this underway. Is that okay with you, Joe?
What I heard John say just is that he's gonna give us a letter on what the terms are.
Okay.
Is that what it said?
Yes, I think what you would request from Mr. Preston, if he has a proposal to make that's different than what you've already voted on, that he would give it to you in writing,
Yeah.
so you can act on it.
The city staff engaged Mr. Preston with the letter now. For a letter.
Okay, we got a motion on the floor?
Yes.
All right, Tom Castle's motion, may we have a second? I second. Did he put it in writing? And send it back to, and the mayor be involved in that process?
City hall, the city staff be involved with it on that part. Get the
Okay, clerk,
terms.
we're ready to call the roll.
Councilman Cassidy,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Aye.
Councilwoman McKenzie, Councilman Estes. Aye. Councilman May,
No.
Councilman Hughes,
No.
Councilman Webb.
No.
Motion carries 4-3.
So it still lands in the mayor's lap right now, but we thank you.
Vice Mayor, I'd like to explain, if you're given an opportunity and have a letter of a gift, and you vote on that, and then you wait several months and it comes back, and the rules have changed, what happened during this time?
That's
We have a
the-
gift and now they want us to pay for it. How much do they want?
Well, that's the reason why we're doing what we're doing. We don't have nothing documented in our hands, but this gives each one of us the documents, and we'll have for ourselves, you'll have a copy of what changed. Right now, I know there've been some changes, but I don't know exactly and remember exactly what they were. But this council wants it in black and white, so we can see what those changes are. You can't change it once you give it to us, and then we gotta have time to sign it and all that, and legal counsel got to approve it, and so there's a
See,
lot of
what you
things
just
that gotta
said, you
go through,
can't-
but this is the proper way, I think. I think this is the proper way to do it.
Negotiate.
So, for 16 years, I've heard Councilman May say, Merry Christmas, I hope everybody gets exactly what they want. 16 times I've heard him say that.
Has it been that long?
Number two, same point. Mr. Hughes, maybe third time's a charm. It's not this isn't the first time on this property. Okay? So maybe the third time's a charm.
Maybe so.
All I want to see is a dollar figure, and then we can weigh it up or down. Is it in the best interest of the city or not? Not be some petty, well, you took your ball and went home, so, I think we're more mature than that. And I think a yes vote today showed a little more maturity than that.
Vice Mayor, I mentioned at 1 o'clock, and I would like to see some costs, some figures, even outside of waiting for this letter, what we're looking at in this, getting this building, not necessarily the purchase price, but I'm talking about getting this building, if we obtain it, what it's gonna cost. I wanna see those figures, and where's that money gonna come from? Can we get grants, can we get, I'd like to know that. And I don't feel like I can make a sound decision unless I know that.
And that's exactly what we're doing, is getting the information in hand because.
Right, but once we have that.
Right, right,
Yeah.
and we will know how much additional it's gonna cost.
But then where is that money gonna come from?
Yeah, and we will, our city manager will answer that second question. But I think we're taking the proper steps, going in the right direction. Any other comments about it? Any other? Yeah.
I'll make a comment, and I don't know that it will add anything to the debate, but I voted no, and I want to tell you why I voted no. There are times that you just have to vote your conscience and your principle. A year ago, we voted, we worked very difficultly, very hard to get a 7-0 consensus on it. And my principal will just not let me go back and change it at this time. So everybody's offering an explanation of why they voted like they did. But that's my reason for voting no today. I thought we put this issue to rest over a year ago, and apparently we haven't.
To my colleagues, I know I'm not responding to you, Ken, directly. Negotiations and rules change all the time. We are shackled by state law about certain things. If this is part of the negotiation, it's part of the negotiation. And things change, and so let's see what comes back next. If the dollar price is such that it benefits the city of Cleveland immensely, well, of course we take it. Okay, well, we did this once, and that's not good governance. We're actually trying to follow state law, do it sunshine, do it up here, and to do that, for this situation, it's gonna take this kind of back and forth. Wouldn't it be easy to close the door? You know, go do something behind the scenes, then vote on it and get your votes. That's not the way this is happening. I didn't feel comfortable like that, so I went just only myself, and I could take the mayor, because he wasn't voting on, what's going on. And I thought it was over as well, because when he said, no, I want all this, I walked away. I didn't bring it up, I didn't bring anything. But if it's gonna come back up, I owe it to the citizens to look at the offer.
Well, and I owe it to myself to vote my principle.
Okay, that concludes our agenda.
Oh, come on, man, Merry Christmas or something.
Yeah, Joe.
I was just gonna respond that, as we said earlier, we will work on options for funding, or give you a better idea on what
Yes,
that
I would
looks
like to know that. I mean, I know we can rent some of the floors out and things like that, and it's gonna bring some income in. But we've gotta get in, if we get it, we've gotta get in the building, there's some things that have to be fixed. And I would like some information on how that's gonna be done.
If you get into it, you don't wanna have a big price tag that you weren't ready for.
I wanna know what the price tag could be, and how it's gonna be paid for.
Well, last time we looked at it, I think the backflow needed to be done, it was about $240,000, I think it was.
I haven't looked at any of it. We'll get the information together. Dig it out of the file.
Okay, we have some announcements. The city offices will be closed as follows. On Friday, December the 23rd, which is on Monday, December the 26th, for the Christmas holidays. December 26th council meeting will be canceled. On Friday, December the 30th, and Monday, January the 2nd, for New Year's Day, the city offices will be closed. And the next city council meeting will be held on Monday, January the 9th, 2023. There's another announcement that says the 44th Old Timers Hall of Fame banquet will be January the 13th at the Museum Center. Tickets are $25 each and must be purchased by January 6th. Does anyone else have any other announcements? If not,